What's up, guys? So I wanted to make a reaction video to the Ultra Vegito series. I wanted to do another one of these. I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball, and I love the fan mangas. I mean, honestly, I think they're way better than canon, guys. I'm pretty sure most of y'all would agree with me on that. So, this is a series made by Call Me Arj. That's all caps, CALLMEARJ. It's the Ultra Vegito series. I'm pretty sure most of y'all are familiar with that. Like I said, guys, he's a very talented fan manga artist. That's what I want to do for this channel. But I suck at drawing, so once I had the funds and everything to get a whole team together, because I got great ideas. I think I could do amazing things for the community. But I don't know, guys. I'll get there eventually. The reason why I started my channel was to donate money to, children dying of cancer, etc. But anyway, guys, this is just a reaction video. I'm not taking credit for his work at all. Definitely go subscribe to him first before me. He's a good guy, talented artist. He has a Patreon. If y'all want to join his Patreon, he puts the next video to these series available on the Patreon. So if y'all interested, go follow him. But let's go ahead and get into it, guys. I've already been talking for a long time. I'm not going to try to talk as much as the video is playing because I'm trying to enjoy it, and this is my first time watching it, so I want y'all to enjoy it too. So
you of Son Gohan, shirtless and focusing stoically ahead in his fighting stance, ready to challenge the all-new, freshly transformed Demon King Miro, who, now coated in a mysterious, powerful energy, will begin making a step forward, instantly destroying the ground beneath him as he does so, with the planet itself unable to even contain his presence. And once we would get a full view of Miro, his truly bulked up presence would be clear for all to see, utterly covered in vascularity, as his deathly stare on his face would seem almost too small for the rest of his body, slowly but surely walking straight forward towards Gohan. But the doting grandfather Bardock, watching from above, would not remain
I think he's my favorite character.
Calling to his grandson, Gohan, this guy has just gotten way stronger. Conveniently, right after I promised not to step in. Are you sure you're going to be okay? If you can turn into a Super Saiyan God or something like that, now would be a good time to show it. But Gohan, now bearing a smirk, would seem completely unbothered, simply replying, Super Saiyan God? That's more my dad's or Vegeta's style. I always said I'd find my own path to power. You don't need to worry about a thing, Gramps. I've been in worse situations before. But in the distance, there would be one figure who would utterly be gobsmacked with what he'd been seeing in
hands
the last
down, this is
hour,
probably one of the best series.
and standing borderline trembling in awe, the
that Call Me
Super
Arj is
Saiyan
probably
2
made.
Kalo would be stood, wide eyes and open mouthed, just muttering,
I'll get there eventually.
Commander Bardock, his grandson, this earthling, they're actual monsters. Where do they get this kind of power from? I need it. But just as Kalo would wonder, like two bullets fired in a standoff, the two powerful warriors in the distance would launch immediately towards each other. instantly face first with each other as both Gohan and Miro would meet in the middle, roaring with intensity. And on first meeting, their first trade would be Gohan swiping his fist harshly to collide with a rising kick of the Demon King. The impact creating an impressively loud thud as Gohan's own face and gritting teeth would show just how serious he would be taking things, as he would briefly think, right, that seemed even. I should be able to do this. I should... But just as a hint of confidence would trickle into Gohan, Miro would be quick to show the Saiyan this transformation was not just for show. Immediately grabbing Gohan's skull like a baseball.
Reminds me of Broly.
One vicious grip before. With a violently explosive crash, Miro would ragdoll the Saiyan by his literal face and smash him accordingly straight down into the ground. Seems I'll be back fighting the blindfolded one sooner than I thought. You weak worms should really learn to know your place. As the Demon King, feeling his ungodly power now dwarf his opponent, would instantly now begin to grin wildly. And that place is below my feet.
Oh, that's savage.
As after raising his foot straight up to add extra salt to the wound, bringing it down like a rocket-powered meteor, Miro's foot would crush Gohan's chest brutally, as a visible crack of his bones would ring through the air. Before continuing to treat the young warrior like a mere trash bag, kicking his already injured body next far off into the distance. Ultimately cutting the journey short once again, as Gohan would slam his back against a nearby mountainous wall. Immediately leaving the Saiyan now gasping for air, as his injuries and scratches appear to overcome him. A line of blood now running with speed from his forehead down across his eye. This guy, he may look like him, but he's a lot tougher than Bojack, that's for sure. But Gohan, still with a fire lit within him, would grit his teeth, thinking of what else he could do to flip the tables on Miro. But as the Demon King would watch Gohan remove himself from the makeshift mold in the mountain, he would call out, "Come on already! It's annoying enough your skull doesn't explode like it did with the others. Can you at least know when to give up? I'm in need of no warm-up." Now it's you underestimating me, Miro. Word of advice: don't become what you most hate. As Gohan, now beginning to get triggered, would stare straight forward, as raising his right arm without looking at it, within his palm, a concentration of energy would begin to build. Immediately blasting out a beam of energy, but strangely, not towards the demon, but instead right to his side.
What's going on?
The Demon King, noticing this, would be unflinching when turning his head, trying to figure out what this strange creature in front of him would even be planning, as he would mutter, "When I said you weren't different, you didn't have to act strange to prove me wrong, you know." But suddenly, all would be revealed when Gohan, using that one moment to distract Miro, would instantly appear
So it was
to
just a
slam a
distraction?
kick right onto the side of the deep
I was surprised that even
face,
worked.
shuddering him immediately as his eyes would go blank momentarily and lose consciousness. Good one, mortal. But it would only be seconds later that Gohan, still mid-air, would realize not only did such an unexpected heart attack not move Miro away at all,
It didn't do shit.
he would be back conscious, looking down with vitriol too, his body pumped, and unfortunately, ready to get immediate revenge.
Oh shit.
As with rage behind him, the Demon King would backhand Gohan ferociously,
If y'all guys want
spinning
to,
his body, practically dismembering his spine.
subscribe to
in
my
the
channel.
process.
I do appreciate y'all
Still
helping out.
Staying in place legs would be unable to even keep up with the speed
It's for the
of his
kids.
fast turning torso. Miro! Leaving Gohan to fly through the air, himself now dipping in and out of consciousness, struggling to re-straighten his body until... Even as he would land on the ground on all fours, right above, like a fly that would not get away, Demon King Miro would be stood right over him, fist clenched, ready to continue his reign of violence. He's getting faster and faster, leaving Gohan to stare up in fear, contemplating already what would come next. Just die already!
Is it just me, or does everybody else want to see him transform into a new form?
His fist straight onto the appearing to have crumbled up Saiyan's body. That was close! That is, until in the distance, we would see that in fact, Gohan had escaped just in the nick of time. His body almost a sprinter stance, however, until... That's it! I'm not letting you get away with any more! This ends here! As nearly instantaneously, like a racehorse, Gohan would shoot off the line straight at Miro once again. But unfortunately, even this would not get him far. Was on the edge of his foot, down on his ankle, a monstrously large green arm would grab him from out of nowhere. You! How did? Leaving Gohan nothing short of stunned, as when turning his gaze behind, a sight nobody wanted to see would be right at his backside. Miro! How is he this fast? As in a complete shock to Gohan, the Demon King, as if stuck to the Saiyan's very soul, would be right next to him in a flash. His far bulkier body clearly making no difference to his speed, and in fact, now several times faster. observations would be made meaningless in the face of Miro's strength. As yet again, Gohan would be forced to endure a violent slam right onto the Earth's surface, creating a giant explosion in the process as his screams would ring through the universe. And in the aftermath, like a fallen bowling ball, Gohan would just be seen laying face first in a crater made of his own body weight. As Miro, looking down, now seemingly having had his fun, would just comment, "That body of yours, how it could withstand the damage of a Demon King? No, a soon-to-be Demon Emperor. Maybe your soul is worth mentioning to Lord Lucifer also." Before Miro, now grabbing Gohan's head by the hair roughly off the ground, would then present him to the sky like a dead prize hunt. Gohan's deathly corpse would just hang, as Miro,
That's savage, guys.
Bardock, would then say, "Blindfolded Earthling, as promised, your kin has been defeated. Any last words before I slaughter him before your eyes? Or do you perhaps want to finally step back into the arena?"
Oh, something's about to happen, guys.
But Gohan, ever defiant, would immediately react to such a call-out, struggling briefly to pull his hair away from Miro's grip, mumbling, "It's not over yet!"
Kinda looks like it.
Until, with an incredible display of flexibility, Gohan would force the demon's hand, swiping his leg immediately up like an axe kick, but instead of bringing it down, would go even further beyond and smash it right into Miro's none the wiser face. He still didn't budge. But even Gohan on escape would realize once more how futile all his attacks would be at this point.
Like hitting a
Opting to
brick
quickly
wall.
then jump back to gain some much needed distance. Bardock, meanwhile though, having assessed the entire situation, would think to himself, "Things aren't looking good. Not good at all. Am I really going to let Kakarot's kid die here?" But with Kalo, the naive warrior would think differently, whispering,
Yeah. Goku did the same thing
"Gohan,
as with Cell.
You're
He just stood there.
incredible. Nothing can stop you." As back on the battlefield, standing meters apart, Demon King Miro and Ultimate Gohan would just stare into each other's souls, each anticipating what the other's next action would be. "Come on, Gohan! You got this! Finish it!" But the silence would be broken when the overly enthusiastic Kalo would just yell out to encourage his new friend.
He's over here cheerleading.
But Bardock, getting annoyed with his subordinate's lack of vision, would just let out, "Cut it out, Kalo! How much have you been slacking on your training after all? Look closely. Gohan is not ready for this guy at all."
Come on, Gohan, you got this shit.
As when we would get back to Gohan, indeed the wisdom of Bardock would shine through, as the young hybrid Saiyan would clearly be seen.
If y'all guys are a big
energy,
fan of Gohan,
puffing
hit
and
that
puffing
like
away
button, guys,
from
for me.
exhaustion, his
Smash that
eyes
shit.
even verging on closing from his lack of sustenance. But it wouldn't be long before the Demon King would end the brief break in battle, arriving closer, before with a disgruntled look and his arms folded, Miro would say, "Look at you. Such promise you had at the beginning. But now, even I can sense your energy dwindling. Mortal, if only you had listened, perhaps you could have escaped to die another day." Before with a stone-cold stare, Miro would finally proclaim, "No matter. You may live forever instead, as a part of Lord Lucifer's great joining of the realms. Feel honored." Before, almost as if he had just said his final goodbyes, Miro would then lift his arms together, before bringing them close and instantly generating a small ball of energy that before long would begin to grow and shine brightly. Eventually becoming a clear source of intense power, as the Demon King in tandem would roar, as an aura would explode from his pores just as he would do so, triggering Gohan's natural senses as he would think, "I don't like the look of that. Looks like hand to hand is off the table now. This
What?
guy, he's looking to finish things."
Hand to hand was off the table a while ago.
So as the winds of Miro's power-up would continue to wade and splash against the young Saiyan, Gohan in response would begin bringing his own arms together towards his right side.
I'm just anticipating it, guys. I want him to reach another form.
As resorting to his father's signature technique,
Probably
within
gonna have to make a part
Gohan's
2 to this.
palms, the brightly lit shining ball of Kamehameha energy would begin to generate until